Welcome to the Writerpreneur podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about Seth Godin, Chris Bumstead, and myself. And one thing that all three of us have in common that's allowed us to do something pretty interesting and pretty unique, each in our own field. So Seth Godin, what has he done that's unique? Many things. But one of the top things he's most known for is his daily blog. He writes every single day, and he publishes something every single day. And he has consistently published something for 9 years. 9 years straight without missing a beat. That is so crazy. That's so wild, right? So that is so intense. Now let's look at someone else in a completely different field. That happened because of one thing that he did. Now, Chris Bumstead, I don't know how you pronounce your last name, but he is the Mr. Olympia. He's the sixth Mr. Olympia. Or he's got his sixth Mr. Olympia title, rather. So he has been in the bodybuilding industry for over a decade at this point. And in order for him to get these 6 titles of Mr. Olympia, he said he did one thing. And now this year, let's talk about something that I've done here at Writerpreneur. Earlier this year in March, I recorded and wrote 70,000 words in 7 days while working my regular day job. Now, I was able to do all of that. I was able to do that. Seth Godin was able to do what he did. Chris Bumstead was able to do what he did, all because of one thing. That one thing is very simple. We decided that we would. Okay? I spend a lot of time on this podcast talking about tactics, going into the weeds. Here's how to do this. I've walked people through how exactly the tactics I use to write those 70,000 words in 7 days. But today, before you look at the tactics, what you have to do is you have to decide that you are going to do something. I did 70 a couple years back. I signed up and did 75 hard. And the full program, not a lot of people know this, but the full 75 hard program is 12 months. It's a full fucking year. It's insane. When I committed, I decided this is what I was going to do. And I did the full 12 months. A lot of people ask me, how? What happened? And I told them, if once you decide, everything else becomes easier. I think Seth Godin put it really, really well. He said, I write every single day, not because I have something unique or interesting to say. I write because it's Tuesday. Just like I don't wake up every morning and decide that I'm going to eat lunch today. No, I eat lunch because it's Tuesday. Same exact thing applies. He wakes up, he writes every day because it's Tuesday, because it's Wednesday, because he woke up that morning. Chris Bumstead, Mr. Olympia, he said that the only reason he was able to have the intense discipline that he had to have the strong workouts and to push through with the calorie deficit where you're looking at the ground and you're like bending over to pick something up is going to be too much effort. I am that exhausted. The only reason he was able to do this and win 6 Mr. Olympia titles is because he decided that's what he wanted to do. When you decide, you no longer are thinking about what happens if it's a holiday and you commit to writing. You say, okay, cool, I'm going to write every day. But, what happens if it's a holiday? Or what happens if I stayed up late and then I have a 12-hour workday and then I have kids and family afterwards? What do I do about that point? And what do I do about working out, right? All of these questions are no longer applicable if you decide to do it. Very simple, very difficult. Once you've decided, the quality of the question changes. You're no longer focusing on the exceptions, on the what if A, B, C, and D happen, or what about when A, B, C, or D happen. Instead, you're no longer looking at the negative and saying, oh, well, this could happen, so maybe I shouldn't do it, or maybe I'll commit, but I won't do it on the holidays. And I was up really late last night, and I have a full day. I just don't have the energy today. No, instead, when you decide that you will do it regardless of what happens, the questions become, how can I make this easier? Yes, I was up late last night. Yes, I don't have a lot of mental energy today. How can I make this easier? Because I already decided that this is going to happen. It's Tuesday, so I'm writing. How can I make this easier? Yes, it's a holiday. Yeah, I'm going to have family. We're going to be packed all day. How can I make this easier? The quality of the question changes. Your focus changes. And that's when all of the tactics make sense. If you just try and implement the tactics without deciding beforehand that you will do this regardless, then it doesn't matter. The tactics won't last. I've tried this. I've tried so many times in the past to be consistent in something, specifically in creating content. And I was never, before I had this unlock with the decision, I was never able to be consistent. I was never able to stick with it. And it wasn't until after I finished the 75 Hard, probably 2 or 3 years ago at this point, that I realized the biggest difference was I just needed to decide. This is what I'm going to do. I will figure everything else out. But regardless, this is what I will do. So if you're struggling today, don't be looking at tactics. Look at the decisions that you've made. Have you decided that this project you're working on will get your full attention, that you will commit to shipping something, to hitting publish every single day? If not, that is your crucial step. Don't worry about the tactics. The tactics will come. Focus on decision, and that will make all of the difference.